Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that people seem to completely misconstrue, twist it to mean whatever they want it to mean. When we're talking about this concept of whole foods, people really need to drop this term of processed because it's basically used as a cop-out for any food that you just think for whatever reason isn't a good idea due to usually a social bias, a political bias, an ideological bias, and everything that you eat. Almost everything that you eat is processed, and we need to be clear here, right? Everything that you eat also is mostly man-made, selectively bred. It has been a long time. That doesn't mean you can't be healthy, and for some people to live to be 110 years old, it doesn't mean you can't win a gold medal in the Olympics. It doesn't mean you can't be cancer-free and not have heart attacks, okay? So that's what we need to grasp here. When we are talking about more of whole foods, what we mean is either minimally processed or processed in such a way that nutritional value is either largely kept intact in terms of quality or potentially enhanced, okay? And that's what people miss. It's like step back and ask yourself, what is the process? Okay, what is the process? Because cooking is a process. And I can promise you most of you are not eating raw meat. You're probably not even eating mostly raw vegetables because, quite frankly, their nutritional value is enhanced by cooking. I mean, let's come over to this idea. Processing our food is the reason humans even exist. The species Homo sapien would not even exist, according to the best experts, without us having figured out how to process foods to some extent. Okay? I'm not saying some people don't eat raw fruit and stuff. All right, that's not what I'm saying. But by and large, we are processing everything. It's essential to survival. It's essential for us to proliferate. It's essential for us to thrive. What we're concerned with is, are we processing foods in such a way that we are losing enormous amounts of nutritional value or causing certain types of absorption issues and stuff with our processing? Example, we have taken a perfectly nutritious food and we have stripped 50% or more of the nutrients from it, okay? Being those nutrients could be various vitamins and minerals, or the fiber, or the protein, a lot of stuff that we want. Protein is good, fiber is good, okay? We have to look at it and go, are we just stripping the nutritional value out? All right? Are we adding things that are a major problem? Because adding stuff isn't always bad. Some people complain with certain preservatives, and then you do realize that preservative is just salt, or that preservative is just calcium, right? And it's a perfectly healthy version within reason, assuming you're not exceeding sodium thresholds and things like that, right? Okay, so you have to look at what's in it. Not everything that's a preservative is bad. Some of them are problematic. So know which ones those are. Okay, so if you're going to buy processed foods, look and see what's in it then. Okay, if there's stuff added, it wouldn't be a bad idea to know what it is and if there's risk to it or not. That's reasonable. But don't assume that everything we add is bad. Look at it. Look at it objectively. But processing, perfect example. I mean, I can give you guys two things, the animal-based stuff, even though I'm doing mostly plant-based at this point. Meat is heavily processed. Right? It's heavily processed. I'll get to processing dairy when processing is good and when it's bad. You process meat, you are taking it, we call it a process. When you process the animal, when you send it to the meat processing plant, the whole animal goes in, and just muscle tissue comes back out usually on your end, right? You're getting your steak or chicken breast. That's what's left. You're not eating the whole animal. It's not a whole food anymore in that regard. But we still count it as a whole food. Why? Because it's got a lot of nutritional value. You haven't destroyed the protein content or the B12 or any of that. It's all intact. Right? That's there. Then when you cook it, that's a process. Interestingly enough, cooking can improve bioavailability of meat. It makes it safer too, less bacteria. Okay, this processing is not necessarily bad, but it's processed. So people say, well, you can't say that it's not a bad. So you can't say every process is bad. Just like the whole concept with tofu, but it's like tofu is a perfectly healthy food. Yes, the soybean goes through some processing, but the evidence and data shows that it's extremely healthy with amazing health outcomes. Right? We're processing in a positive manner. How about pasteurizing milk? I know there are raw milk advocates, but I think that they're wrong. The data says they're wrong. Pasteurizing milk saved countless lives. Right? Pasteurizing milk is beneficial. Kills bacteria. And no, it doesn't appear to cause problems with the nutrients. That seems to be a bit of a myth. All right? How about making cultured dairy? Yep, that's usually beneficial. Usually Greek yogurts and stuff. Probiotics are added. Some stuff is taken out even if you're reducing fat. Reducing the fat can be a good thing because we can argue about the consequences of too much saturated fat. Right? Not necessarily a bad thing because we're retaining the good stuff. You're retaining the calcium, the B12, the protein, the magnesium. All right, there's all these good things. They're still there. And then you're adding cultures that have also benefits. Might even be culturing the lactose. A lot of people are lactose intolerant. Over half of people in the world are. All right, culturing. This is good. The lactose is now digestible for them. There are health benefits of the cultures and cultured dairy. Absolutely. This is a beneficial process. Butter is not. And people get upset by this, right? But you're stripping most of the nutritional value. People say, it's just skim cream. Okay, so you skimmed the cream. You left most of the stuff. So the reason skim milk and fat-free milks and low-fat milks have amazing nutritional value because that's where most of the good stuff is. Again, the calcium, the protein, the B12, the magnesium, all that. You left all that behind to take this stuff you skimmed off the top. And they're like, well, all we do is churn it. Yeah, you emulsified the fat and you made the saturated fat faster absorbing. It hits the bloodstream even quicker. You know, this is not good. Again, you've created a less healthy food. And this is what we mean by processing good or bad. Okay, here's one I think most people will grasp. Potato chips, French fries. Okay, now we're getting into some bad processing. Potatoes, amazingly healthy food. Cooking them makes them way better. Improves nutrient absorption, right? Cooked potatoes are more nutritious than raw potatoes for us. This is not subject to debate. But how about when we take an oil, and we can argue about the seed oils. I think they're not as bad as they've been made out to be, but then we're cooking them at high temperatures, and we're now deep frying this amazing root vegetable with oils at a high temperature, possibly denaturing a lot of the nutrients that we want in there. Now we've already stripped the fiber and other stuff, so we've lost a little bit of nutrition with the oils. But then we're cooking it at extremely high temperatures, creating a potentially carcinogenic environment. So then the people who get upset, there you go, there's a vegan food that's bad right there. But it's not necessarily bad, but definitely not good. Because there's still some nutritional value. But we've made it objectively worse. Okay? This is an example. Then obviously we deal with stuff like pizza, cake, ice cream. These are all highly processed junk foods with all sorts of refined sugars and added fats. And, these are obviously highly processed junk foods. But we don't get to count everything that's processed in that category. Understand there are degrees of process and not all processing is bad. This is all very contextual. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.